We are live. What's going on, my fellow combat sports enthusiasts? We are live for another exciting episode of the MMA Jackal being live. I couldn't think of a witty name there, so. But yeah, this is me. We're going to talk some MMA. Sorry, I still got a bit of a janky setup here. I'm not quite as professional as I want to be. So when the live starts, you'll see me like moving the camera around, and I still don't like it. Paku, my bro, what is going on, man? Good to see you here. Give me a second. I just want to bring my TT. What's up, bro? I just want to bring up the live on my tablet here so I can read everybody's questions. But yeah, just give me 1 second. I still haven't found out like the best way to do this. It never pops up on my feed because like I'm not in the algorithm yet. So trying to find my own live on my own channel is still difficult. So give me 1 second. It still doesn't want to work. But if you guys want to post comments or that, feel free to chat it up. Dude, I am so excited for freaking UFC 299. Like, it's not even... Paku! See, your comment went away. I have, like, one person trying to watch me, and I can't even come through for the guy. Like I said, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to pull up my own live on my own page, and it's just refusing to do it. So, let's see. This is brutal. I know. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is frustrating. Thank you, Gamrot. Please, everyone, talk amongst yourselves while I fumble around like a complete fucking moron. YouTube, help a brother out. How can all you guys find it? Like, it's literally not popping up on my shit. I've officially started the worst live chat of all time. This is fucking terrible. But I am going to talk about 299, and I just dropped a video about women's MMA that Paco is not a fan of. I am so pumped for Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've watched all his fights, but I don't know. It's so hard to tell until the guy actually steps in there with somebody on Dustin's level. Like, is he really legit? Is he really top 3 in the lightweight division legit? You know? Or is he, I can beat up Matt Matt Fravola, legit, you know? I still cannot even bring up my own page. I have everyone else's live stream. This is really frustrating. Now I know exactly how Luke Thomas feels when he has technical difficulties and he gets all fucking flustered. Eric, what is going on, my brother? Nothing. I'm just trying to pull up my live stream on my tablet so I can read the comments as they happen, and YouTube is refusing to give up the ghost here. It is refusing to work. So I can only see the comments as they pop up for like a second. And it's really frustrating being technologically retarded. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This is brutal. Usually, I'll go live here, and then I'll just log into my page, like I said, on this other device, and then it pops up, and we chat, and it's great. But today, okay. I'm sorry about that. Woo! We are live! All right, so let me catch up on some of these comments here. I'm sorry that I know at one point I had like 8 people in here, and they're all like, all right, fuck this dude. He's just quietly staring at his computer. But here we go. We are back. All right, everybody's saying hi. What's up, Hap? Tai, is it TT or Tai? What's up with you? Hap said he's mad hyped for Umar's fight. I don't like most Dagestanis, but I like him because he's a slick striker. So do you not like Dagestanis because they're generally grapplers, or do you not like them because they're from Dagestan and you're a racist? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Paco said, yo, I'm just finishing up my study for this week's card. I'm just watching tape in the background. Awesome, dude. You are, if I had your work ethic, bro, pick 'em. Let's go, brother. I was just in your chat. I appreciate the support, man. I wasn't trying to step on your toes and, take away viewers from you or anything, You are, Pickham's an inspiration. That dude is on the grind, man. He's constantly doing his shit. I'm trying hard. I'm trying as hard as I can with work and everything, and Eric says what's up. What is up, Eric? I gotta figure out a better way. I gotta start doing dry runs. Last time I did a live chat, I put on that I was going to go live, it'll say 0 waiting. I was able to come in here and pull it up, and it worked great, but all right, we're past that. We're moving on. Paku sent me a link to my own live. I appreciate it. The other thing is you guys don't care about my technical shit. Whatever. Hap said, I don't like most Dagestani fighters because they settle in top control and are top safe of grapplers, don't make it fun. I think a lot of them are just boring. Okay, Paku, don't get mad. The only reason Eric is a mod before you is because he's actually a personal friend, and he's a manager on my page, so he knows how to make him a mod, make himself a mod. He's been helping me like with these edits and shit and all like the content that I've been putting out. So I was able to like put him on my channel and he like modded it himself. So tonight, before I go to bed, I'm gonna talk with Eric and I'm gonna be like, bro, I gotta make Paku a mod because he's my boy. I promise. I promise. Hap, to your point about Dagestani fighters, so I I understand where you're coming from, but like that's just grapplers in general. You know what I mean? Like I love grappling, so I have much I don't know how to say it. Like I'm much more forgiving with the boring grappling display because I know like the intricacies of half guard and the little battles being fought. You know what I mean? So, but I know for like, and I'm not, believe me, I'm not trying to say like I'm smarter than you or something like that. I'm just saying like I'm a dork and I get off on, you know, the underhook battle. I totally understand that that is not exciting to watch. You know what I mean? And it does get boring for me. But to your point that most Dagestanis are like, they just lay and pray, as they say. I think that is most grapplers. However, Dagestanis in particular are some of the most aggressive grapplers. If I'm making sense, if I'm not rambling too much here. Like Khabib, for example, everyone bitched at him because, or bitched about him because, you know, he'd take a guy down and he just lays on top of him. But him and Islam too, they work so hard at top control. Like to get it to finish somebody from top is a lot more difficult than, it has more steps to it than knocking someone out. So you're a superior striker, you have superior foot movement, you feint a little bit, you get somebody to start throwing strikes at you, you counter them, you knock them out. To finish the fight as a grappler, you have to take those same steps that I just said like a striker would take, except instead of throwing a punch, now you're going to throw a takedown. So you take the person down. Now you have to control the fight on the ground. Once you get them down, you can't let them get away. Now you have to advance your position without losing any of your position, which is always a battle. As you're advancing, he's going to start moving too. Then you have to get into a position to finish. And then you have to go for the finish without losing position. So I believe it's even more difficult to finish a fight on the ground as a grappler, per se. And while we're watching these steps take place, it's boring for a lot of people. So I get what you're saying, but looking at it from a grappler's perspective, Dagestanis in general are some of the most offensive grapplers that we have. Like a lot of American D1 wrestlers, they'll use their wrestling like Matt Hughes turned into a great ground and pound guy, but they're so good at control and in their martial art of just wrestling, ultimate control wins the fight. So a lot of American grapplers are even more boring than the Dagestanis. All right. The only thing more boring than a grappler is me talking about grappling. Hab said, guys, I feel like no one cares about Gamrot, RDA. This has potential to be a fight as good as Gamrot Saryukian. Dude, I don't think it's that people don't care. I think there's just so many good fucking fights coming up. Like, I'm looking down the card. It's like, holy shit, dude. Gamrot, RDA. Bear with me here, and I just want to pull up I wanted to do this ahead of time, but then I got so sidetracked with my technical difficulties. But let me pull up Tapology of like 299 or 300, and it's like, holy shit, dude, the fucking list. So 299, O'Malley versus Vera, your headline. Then we have Dustin versus Benoit Saint Denis, Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della, Peter Yan, Son Yadong, Kevin Holland, Venom Page. And that's just the main card. That's just the main fucking card. Like, holy shit. I was talking earlier today with my cousin, and it's like, he's like, dude, holy fuck, man. People are really sleeping on UFC 299. And I think it's better than 300. And I'm like, yeah, it might be, dude. Then I went and looked at 300. I don't know. I don't know if you get better than you got Bo Nickel's going to murder poor Cody Brundage. Then Gaethje Holloway, which I got the fizz for, as they say. Charles Oliveira versus Sarukian is like the second fight on the main card. There's still 3 more fights after Charles Oliveira fights Arman. Holy shit. Calvin Kattar versus Aljo, then Yuri Rakic, and then, 4 more fights. Then Wei Li versus Yan Zhaonang. Okay, let's not get into that. And then Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Like, dude. And then the prelims are I mean, what a time to be an MMA fan, right? Like, holy shit, dude. This is so exciting. I started my channel like at the perfect time because I have no excuse when it comes to making content. There's so much to talk about, so much to think about. I've been putting a lot of thought into this Saint Denis versus Dustin fight. Obviously it can go one of 2 ways. It's gonna go like O'Malley versus Yan, and everyone's gonna be like, dude, I told you all along, this guy's fucking legit. Benoit Saint Denis, the next big thing. And then everyone's gonna be saying, oh, Dustin Poirier's washed. I mean, his last 3 losses were freaking Habib, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje. Like, all this dude does is freaking fight the elite, you know? And then Benoit Saint Denis is, you know, coming off a fight. What was his last fight? Was that Matt Frivola? You know what I mean? Like, they're in 2 different worlds here, but he's looked so good. I kind of like it when they take. I don't mind it either way. If they build someone up like they did with Sean O'Malley, I'm fine with that. Like, they see this young talent and they're like, okay, let's make sure this kid gets what he needs and let's build him up in the star he can become. And I also like it when a guy's steamrolling through people and they're like, all right, here. And they throw him right into the pen with the big dogs. I'm totally cool with that. And Benoit Saint Denis is obviously a special forces guy. He deserves to get thrown in the pen with the big dogs. So I just seen Spartacus Sr. commented, and that is awesome because that's my pops, and he changed his name on YouTube to Spartacus Sr. That is so cool. He retracted his statement. I don't know why, but that's awesome. Maybe he's going to have to become the Jackal Senior or something like that. That's awesome. That just made my night. What's everyone saying here? Eric said, I'm a manager. I thought, okay. Hap said, I get you. I just don't like the specific position that they love to do. Lay in top control, Dagestani handcuff stuff. I love that shit though. Like personally, as like doing jujitsu and shit, man, it's harder to. We actually call it khabibing someone's legs when you triangle the legs of your opponent who's underneath with your legs. But that reaching behind the back and grabbing that Dagestani handcuff and just freaking. Obviously, you can't punch in jujitsu, but it's more demoralizing if you're a jiu-jitsu competitor and you're sparring with your friend. You get him in a Dagestani handcuff. Instead of like trying to go for a submission, just boop his nose. As a grown man, getting your nose booped by another grown man is more demoralizing than getting strangled unconscious. I don't think so. I've been asking Paco if he got his Bills jersey or Bills shirt, and I don't think he did because I talked to him today and he didn't mention it, and I'm sure he'll send me a picture. He told me that he plays the NFL video game, and when he does, he always picks the Bills. So if there was a rugby video game and I played video games, I would pick the All Blacks. I promise. And I'm wearing all black for Paku and my all-time favorite rugby team, the All Blacks. Everyone knows I'm a huge All Blacks guy. So I started talking about Dustin versus BSD. I don't know. I don't think that he is a current Special Forces member. So Tim Kennedy actually was in the Special Forces, still running operations when he was fighting in the UFC. And I actually think that that might be like that 1/10 of 1% that separated him from being a world champion, because there is no way you can give 100% of yourself to anything if you're also doing special forces shit. Like, if you're doing special forces shit, everything else you're doing is on the side. Like, even though you're a top 5 UFC fighter, you're a top 5 UFC fighter on the side because the other thing you do is life or death. And if Saint Denis was still an active Special Forces member, I would actually count that against him, because there's no way, like I said, there's no way you can be all in. I don't think he is, though. I think he has retired from the military and is a full-time MMA fighter now. So I've been saying for a long time, well, for the past few months, that I believe 2024 to be the year of the changing of the guard. And but it's so hard to pick. It's so hard for me to pick against Dustin Poirier against like the 11th ranked lightweight. All this guy does is fight the elite, you know? Granted, he's coming off of a devastating knockout from one of the hardest hitters in the game, you know? And we just seen what that did to Volk. And he's not getting any younger, and he's been through some absolute wars. Also, Saint Denis not undefeated. He was in one of the most brutal fights I've ever seen that didn't get stopped. And the fact, the only reason it wasn't stopped is because the ref was a complete psychopath and or moron and or had no business being a ref and just stood there and watched him get pummeled while he was being too tough for his own good and not going down. But that fight was on like 2 weeks' notice. It was up at 170, and the dude he was fighting was pretty legit. He had his last name was Dos Santos. I forget his first name, but He's an absolutely legit striker, but on short notice, it's like your fourth fight in the UFC and you're going up a weight class. I'm not going to hold that against him as much. You know, when he's got a full camp under his belt and he's fighting at 155, he's just rolling through people. Granted, he's rolling through people like Matt Favola, you know, not Dustin Poirier. So I don't know why that fight really intrigues me. But Arman versus Charles, that's another one. Like, I don't know how to call that. Certainly, Saryukian is not going to be afraid to go to the ground with Charles Oliveira. But he's got the most dangerous guard in MMA. As far as I'm concerned, there is no more dangerous person to be on the ground with, even in top position, than Charles Oliveira. He can throw up a triangle late in fights when everyone's covered in blood and sweat and, you know, you're completely exhausted. He can throw up whatever he wants. He can sweep however he wants. He is just absolutely elite on the ground. Not to mention, he'll knock your ass out. So that's another one. I'm terrible at picking fights. All I do is come on here and tell you how I don't know who's going to win. But there are so many fights that it's like, man, I do have to get more confident in my gut instincts because I made a whole video on how I really thought Topuria was going to win and be too much for Volkanovski. And then I got all wishy-washy and I came back and I'm like, I don't know. I think Volkanovski's going to win now because he's been a champ for a long time. I got to go with my gut instinct. And my gut is telling me that these young dudes are absolute killers. You know? Like, I just hope these fights last. Like, I want to see Charles Oliveira and Arman in the third round. You know what I mean? I want to see Benoit Saint Denis and Dustin going at it, you know, after 12 minutes of a war. But any of these fights can be over in seconds, you know. Another one is Yuri Rakic. I'm going to call him Rakic. Rakic. We're going with Rakic. So that fight can go either way too, you know what I mean? Like, if Yuri does what he does, it's going to be super exciting. And if Rakic does what he does, it's going to be super boring. And Hap's going to be bitching up a storm because that dude, he likes to lay and pray. He does not have very good finishing. He doesn't go after the finish much. That's because when you're on the ground and the dude on top of you weighs over 200 pounds, the last thing you want to do is make a mistake and end up on bottom. So he is much more, all right, let me get this position. Let me not take too many risks, where guys like Islam and Charles, they're hunting for the kill. That's the other thing that makes grappling boring is in order to get the finish, you have to risk. You have to risk position. So if you want to finish an arm triangle, in most cases, unless you're, you know, somebody like Islam who has, you know, ungodly squeeze. In order to finish an arm triangle, you have to dismount and get off to the side. So if that dude escapes, now you don't even have side control anymore. He's getting right back up, you know. Same with the back. A lot of times, if someone escapes back control, they end up on top in full guard. So a lot of guys are afraid to go for the finish when they get good position, and then that pisses off guys like Hap because he doesn't want to watch that shit, and he's here for the violence, you know? Let's see what we said. Imagine how satisfying it would be if Gaethje slept Makhachev as Islam was going for a takedown and it got on mic and said, "Wrestle these nuts, you hideous guy." If Gaethje, like, Makhachev's going in for a double leg and Gaethje just throws a knee out, like, there's some of the most devastating knockouts you'll ever see is when somebody throws a blind double leg and gets kneed right in the face. I was just messing around one time with my buddy, and we were at practice, and he's like joking around, and I like was faking like I was going for a double leg, and he was pretending like he was throwing a flying knee, and we both pretended my face right into his knee. Paku said, I'm not even a striker, and I really enjoy the Russians working from top. The way they manipulate weight and are always 2 or 3 steps ahead is very impressive. I believe Paku meant to say, I am even a striker, because Paku's a freaking awesome boxer. Yes, it's something I'm so familiar with, so I love watching it, but like that's the chess game. You know what I mean? I don't understand the chess game as much on the feet. That's going to change soon. I'm going to start putting some time into learning how to strike so I can understand what I'm watching better. But that's the key to being a successful grappler is it's a game of chess. And the champions at chess, they know what your moves are ahead of time. So they know your options and they take those options away. They know the count. They know what to do when you do what you're going to do. They make sure you can only do this or that. And they know if you do this, I'm going to do that. And if you do that, I'm going to do this. And it looks boring because a lot of times they got to wait for the guy to make that mistake. And that guy knows that he's going to be making a mistake, so he won't make it. And it turns into, 2 guys just laying on each other. Paku said he's still waiting for the jersey. Spartacus Sr., sir. Me and Spartacus Sr. hung out today. Went for a ride. Went to the sporting goods store. Did some walking around. Gabriel says, stay sober, Paku. I think Paku abandoned his sobriety and is now watching tape after he does some marijuana. Hap's asking Paku how he thinks Gamrot RDA goes. I'm thinking of an RDA underdog pick. What do you think? Paku would be the guy to ask about that. Personally, I think Gamrot, like I said, I think 2024 is the year of the new guy. Gamrot's not that new, but he's younger, certainly than RDA. And RDA that boy's got some miles on him. Like, he's paid his dues. He's given us so many amazing fights. And I think Gamrot's gas tank is just going to be just a little too much for him. I think Gamrot's going to put that pace on him. He doesn't have to finish his grappling. I think he's just going to spam wrestle. Like this new crazy gas tank that everyone has. I don't know if it's EPO induced or, but like the Marab style pace. Gamrot has that. We've seen from Gamrot Sarukian that if you don't like grappling, go watch Gamrot versus Sarukian and tell me that wasn't an enjoyable fight to watch. I'm getting behind here. Gabriel says, think you could take me in a fight? I doubt it, but want to hear your opinion. I have no idea. I've never met you. Antoine Willis says, yo, what's up, Jackal? I appreciate you joining in. It's the first time I've seen you in chat, brother. I hope you're doing good, and thanks for the support. Hap said, I get it. It is impressive, and maybe I'm just not an educated grappler, but that stuff leaves me snoring. I'm not trying to like put you down or anything. I'm not like, you have some of the most educated MMA takes that I read in any of these chats. Like, you put your work in. You know your shit, bro. Antoine's a and Antoine's he's lurking. I don't know. He let himself be known here. What? He said it's always yo. It's Antoine. I'm kind of sick of it. I don't even know where Gabriel's fucking going with this. Baku said, I like Gamrot, but I hate picking fights I haven't done study on. RDA is washed, to be honest. It's so hard for me to say something like, to say that RDA is washed. Like, the dude's been such a fucking warrior, but he might be washed. I mean, his time, I could say it nicer, like, his time is come and gone. You know, he's not 30. You know, he's not 28. And he's been in there with the who's who of everyone. I just think it's time for guys like Gamrot to take their rightful place in the standings. And he's a Polak, so I always pick the side of the Polish guy. Nate said Gamrot could beat RDA on the ground or the feet at this point. I'd have to agree with you. Like, these RDA came of age in a time where if you were, you know, you didn't have to be like the elite of the elite in one particular spot. You could just be really, really good at one thing and kind of less than mediocre at the others. Like, he was so good at grappling that his striking never really had to catch up to his grappling. So, um, so these more well-rounded young guys are going to be too much for people like RDA and his generation, you know? Gamrot versus Arman is my favorite grappling fight ever. It's one of mine too. Like, it's like I just said on here, I recommend it to everybody who isn't a fan of MMA fights that have a lot of grappling in it. Go watch that and tell me that's not exciting. You know, like when I start busting on women's MMA, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well, what about Wei Lee versus fucking Joanna Jędrzejczyk?" I'm like, I know, I get it. It was exciting. So I'm sure when I'm like, oh, well, what about Gamrot and Arman? People are like, yeah, I get it. There was one exciting grappling fight ever. Gabriel Meyer said, clean shaven on a Thursday night is crazy, bro. Looking good. You look like you drive a Dodge Dakota and shop at Costco. Well, I've actually never been to Costco. I live in close to Buffalo. I don't even think we fucking have Costco's around here. I used to drive a Dodge Ram, but now I drive a fucking Toyota RAV4 because I'm old and I'm all about, you know, being efficient and driving a little four banger instead of a big truck. It's actually one of like the few most vehicles I've had have were pickup trucks. Hap said, thanks, TJ. You're a legend, brother. I'm going to try and give grappling more of a chance. Hell yeah, dude. Like, uh-oh. Gabriel Meyer got timed out. I don't know what happened, bro, but you must be being naughty. Stop being naughty. Be nice. I don't know if you're picking a fight, but the mod came and laid the hammer down. Where was I going? Bro, I'm so like new at this shit. I seen that he's timed out, so now I'm all like taken aback by it. Oh, Hap, with the grappling. I don't know. I would love to like watch an MMA fight with you so I could like explain the little intricacies that are going on in a grappling match. You know? Like it's like watching NASCAR with somebody who knows what's going on. Like my old man's a big NASCAR fan, and he's like, "Oh, they're coming around. This guy's drifting for that one, so he's gonna pull in front of this other guy, and that makes it so he has less drag, and he doesn't have to use as much gas. So when he pulls out, he can go around." Like, if you don't know what you're watching, just cars going around in a circle. It's literally the most boring thing ever in the history of the universe. But if you watch NASCAR with somebody who knows what's going on, it's super exciting. And that's exactly how it is um, with grappling. Like, granted, there are times where it's just like one dude laying in the other dude's guard and nothing's going on, you know? Nate said, Paku, I don't think Justin has the cardio to last 5, max 3 or 4 TKO or sub, given Justin's negative BJJ. So, you guys know I'm a Max fanboy. Like, that clouds my judgment so much on this fight. Like, I put the thought of Justin just completely flatlining Max like out of my head, and I just think of all the different ways Max could win. But that is a huge, like, Max prides himself in being one of the best boxers in MMA. Is he more concerned with being a smart fighter and winning the fight, giving himself the best chance to possibly win? Because if that's the case, he's spending his whole training camp improving his wrestling. Because I do believe that Max, I mean, Justin is he's a good wrestler. We know this, especially his defensive wrestling. He never uses it offensively, but he is a good wrestler. But his jiu-jitsu is, I don't want to say non-existent, but fighting someone, like Charles at that level, it might as well be non-existent. I mean, the second that fight went to the ground, it was over. Max obviously isn't that level, but I do think Max has better jiu-jitsu than Justin. I just don't know if he has what it takes to get the fight there. Like, grappling is twofold. It's getting the fight to the ground and then finishing it once you're there. And the first part is extremely difficult. Like, it is not easy to get someone down and hold them there long enough. Obviously, that's the second part, but getting somebody down who's that much bigger than you, I don't know. Hep said, TJ, I think Gabe's into you. I didn't even. My boy Eric is so fucking on top of it. I didn't even get to read his bullshit comments before he got kicked out. But scrolling back here, Paku said, if you want to talk crazy, come down. All right. So if he was talking shit to my boy Paku, then he needs to be gone. And I'm glad he's gone. I mean, for whatever reason, Gabe's always supported me. I know he can be a troublemaker in other chats, but he's always been cool with me for some reason. So I let him. I like when he comes in, but you can't fuck with my boy Paco. Sorry, I'm doing what I hate. I hate when I'm on a live and the guy doing the live is reading questions and not saying anything, oh, it fucking bothers the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. I will read out loud. I don't know if that bothers anyone else. There's two things that drive me absolutely up the wall when I'm watching someone on YouTube. It's if they're reading questions and not answering, or eating into the microphone. Like when AJ eats into the microphone, it drives me nuts. Like I have turned his live off probably 7 different times because of that. And oh, it infuriates me. I will never chew into my microphone. I promise. And I'm going to stop just quietly reading. So Hap said, "You can watch an MMA fight with me, bro. You just do a live stream when the fighters are going on. I would join, and I'm sure a bunch of others would too, man." Yeah, I have to do that. I just feel like because I'm so new to the space, it would be disrespectful to guys like Pick'em and AJ if I tried to go live during the fight too. But then again, I mean, you know, right now I'm having a blast and there's 9 of you in here. So I probably should. And the way I'm set up right now, I could put a TV directly behind where I'm filming and we could watch the fights together, and that might be something. My buddies might be a little pissed because I got my best friend and my cousin come over for the MMA fights, and like we're a crew. So, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Like that's how I found AJ, is because I wanted to like watch along with somebody while I watched the fights, and I went on YouTube Live and I seen they had a fight companion, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I should do it. Pick 'em. I think I know what you're gonna say, but okay. Before I even asked it, Pick 'em answered. Like I said, I don't. I just gotta fight. I gotta do my thing, you know. So yeah, I should. I'm gonna do a live feed for a UFC. That's crazy. I remember my wife telling me like, you should start. Why don't you go on YouTube and talk about MMA? Like, that's all you think about. That's all you watch. You could do that. And I'm like, no, there's no way. No one's going to watch me while we have the fights on. And here we are. We're going to do it. Hap's gonna be in the stream. There's going to be some boring ass grappling going on. And I'm going to be explaining to him why he just put his foot where he did because they're in half guard. And Hap's still not going to like grappling. Pick'em said, "On the grind. I love to see it, homie." Dude, I honestly, you're an inspiration. Every single day you're posting shit, man, and I'm like, I gotta get after it. I see you going live and posting videos, and I'm like, you're where I want to be, you know? Like right now, the thought of having over 1,000 subscribers is like what? 1,000 subscribers? I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me. But then again, a month ago, the thought of having my own YouTube channel was out of reach. Everyone's saying hi to each other. All the boys in here, let's go. Pick'em. Pick'em's making his protein shake. You're making a protein shake and then you're working out? What are you doing for your workout? I was actually Mama made tacos tonight, so I got my workout in earlier, and then I was in your live chat eating tacos. Pick'em said, "I gotta go get groceries tomorrow, damn it. I hate going to the store. It's nice. I'm old and married, so I just pull up to the grocery store, and she gets out and goes shopping, and I sit in my car and watch YouTube." Antoine said, "Just chilling. Thinking about another article to write and watching Jamal Hill's breakdown." Hep said, "Spartacus Senior. Thanks, man. Spartacus Senior is freaking awesome. I love that guy." Eric said he's not completely out, but I can ban him. Oh, man, I'm behind in the chat. Sorry, guys. This is a good feeling, though. I've never been behind in the chat. Who wins, Bilal Muhammad or Khabib? Khabib now? Like Khabib today? Khabib. Khabib today beats Bilal Muhammad. Paku said, Gabe is usually pretty cool. Must be hammered or something. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Paku. Maybe he's just a little drunk. I don't know. I didn't even see his comments. I know he liked the fact that I was clean shaven. He was getting a little weird, but you can't be getting weird. Spartacus Senior's in here. Keep it fucking respectful. Antoine said, I'm going to catch y'all, though. Going to take care of this paper. Before you leave, Antoine, who do you write for? I want to read your article. I want to read it and be like, oh man, this is the article he was writing when he was in my live chat. We've been going for 50 minutes already. I always say like, oh, I'll do like an hour, and then an hour comes and I'm like, fuck, it's over already? But we'll keep going tonight. I actually charged my phone like a human being. Western Mass, what's up, brother? I knew I was missing somebody. He said, that's not disrespectful. Go live if you want to. I'm going to. Pickham said, focus on yourself, bro. Don't stress if any one of us are live at the same time. I agree, man. I don't know. So in starting this channel the last couple weeks, I feel like I've like really leveled up. Obviously, like I've changed the name, I've rebranded, and my boy Eric was like pivotal in that. People watch my channel, and you guys are all like super cool and supportive, which I appreciate more than you could even know. But he's like given me some solid advice, like awesome advice. He has his own YouTube channel called Prison from the Streets. It was actually how I found him, and he's legit at this stuff. Anyway, I say all that to say, he was telling me to like be less wishy-washy, like stop being so sorry about shit like that. Yeah, I can't worry about being disrespectful. If I want to go live, it's my YouTube channel. I have to grow it. UFC, the fights are only on when they're on. I gotta fucking take advantage when I can. Kalal Blacks, what's up, bro? It's your first time in the chat. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your support. You watch NASCAR? Go Chase Elliott. I am below casual. I watch NASCAR if I'm hanging out with my dad and he's watching NASCAR. He knows what's going on, so he'll tell me who he wants to bet on. In fact, last week, 2 weeks ago, he had me put $20 on. I don't even know. If you're still in here, tell me who you put $20 on. But he put $20 on some guy to win, and the dude won. And, I bet MMA, and I'm lucky if I win. Like, if I win $100, that's a huge night for me. So he put $20 on some dude and freaking hit for $500. So he knows his NASCAR. Like, he knows my uncle, his brother got him into it, and he like knows the drama between drivers and like who's, like they get in position and they're doing shit. It's a whole thing. Pickham said, consistency will get you there in no time. Yeah, I found AJ like right around 5,000 subs myself. It's crazy. He's 26,000 now. Good for him. I actually seen Guru back when he like first started, like when he had like the camera coming in from the side and he wouldn't look at the camera and he would just like talk his shit going forward. But even then, his like the way he was like talking disrespectful about fighters, I didn't like it. I mean, it's probably why he got so popular so quick is because he talks so much shit. I mean, he had, you know, Money Moicano call him out because of his shit talk, and now they do they did a podcast together. So I'm still not going to be calling people bums, and this guy's complete fucking garbage. I'm not going to be at that level, but when I do have a strong opinion, I'm going to give it, and I'm not going to apologize about it. Like, I think women's MMA sucks, and damn it, I'm not afraid to say it. Hap said, imagine this golden night, boys. Hap has the best imagines. Like, it's always some crazy shit that comes after Hap says, hey guys, imagine this. So let's hear what it is. Garbrandt gets a wicked knockout. Yuri comes back with a vengeance by knockout. Charles subs Arman Saryukian. I would cry tears of joy. That would be an awesome night. Usually, Hap's imagine this ends with, and then so-and-so farts in this other guy's face, and he gives him the double bird and does a backflip off the cage. So that was a pretty mild imagine this night, boys, from Hap. Eric says, happy to help. Dude, you don't know how much I appreciate everything you've done. You're a solid fucking dude. Hap said, the Kalal guy is trying to trick you with his username. Yeah, but the trick's on him because I can't fucking read good. So, ha! I get it now. Fucking guy got me. Someone's gonna fucking trick me with his username. I gotta start reading usernames slowly in my head first. So, Kalal, he's lucky I'm bad at reading. William Byron, that's the dude that my pops put $20 on and won $500. Hendricks, I don't know. I don't know Hendricks, but I like Brad Keselowski because I'm not Polish. I have Polish lineage. My mama was Polish, and so I'm half Polish. So I always root for Polish people doing shit, which is why I like Gamrot and Jan Blachowicz and all those guys. Pickham said, yeah, Guru used to be really shy. Yeah, well, the dude's like ugly as fuck. So I'd be really shy too. And also, his beard was like face pubes, and he was like looking into his camera. He is a big dude, like has large size, but you can tell in his younger years he was super socially awkward, and the internet is like help him come out of his cage. He's funny though. He is funny. Like his sense of humor is I dig it. I like that dry English humor, I just don't like the disrespectfulness to fighters. We've been through this a lot, but I think MMA is more than just a sport, You can't talk about a fighter the same way you talk about a basketball player. Pickham said, yeah, the only fighter I talk shit about is Dennis Bondar. Yeah, fuck that guy. I take it you had a few shekels on Bondar last Saturday? So did I, actually. I think I had a money line bet. I might have done that because of you. But I bet pennies, so. Nate said, I remember when Guru would be in the UFC press conference live streams talking shit to everyone. See, that I don't remember that, but I bet he was. Now Guru's like the man. But I remember watching him and thinking to myself, like, I could do this. And then seeing AJ, like AJ, if I was AJ, I would be like, fuck you, Guru. You're a bitch. I didn't like AJ asked Guru to collab, and I was always like more of a supporter of AJ than I was Guru. And AJ's respectful when he talks about fighters, so I always supported him more. But Guru basically told him to kick rocks and get lost. And I was in Guru's stream. This is only like a few months ago, and he was asking for MMA YouTubers who were live at that moment and on screen, and he would do a raid or whatever you call it. And dude, the whole fucking chat was filled up with MMA experts, and he was avoiding it like the plague. I don't know. I think he's scared of our boy. But AJ has so much respect for him. Like AJ loves his fucking Guru. What do you guys think? You think AJ just went and fought 6 dudes for his girlfriend? Has he come on? He hasn't done a video since the drama. He was all. I mean, he cut his live short and he was all worried. Like, my girlfriend got in an argument with some dudes at school. We're gonna beat their ass. Like I was saying yesterday, you would have to you'd have to like literally smack my wife to get me to beat you up. Like, if some dude told my old lady off in a store, I would literally think in my head like, well, she was probably being a bitch. But I'm also not like 23, you know? Pick'em said, I got trolled at times too. It happens. Dude, I appreciate it. KB is my first troll ever. Like, this is a big night for me. I had 2 big moments today. I was driving to work this morning and I opened up YouTube and my face was on the shorts section, and that was fucking awesome. And then tonight I got my first troll ever. Like, I'm pretty much batting 1,000 today. And how awesome is it that the first time I ever get a troll, I had the YouTube hammer of hammers, Eric Swanson, ready, locked and loaded, and coming down on that motherfucker like Thor. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you, Eric. We get Guru and Dana podcast. You guys remember when Guloob did what did I just call him? Guloob? You remember when Guloob did he was with like that Jesse on Fire guy? That dude, I don't know. He needs to pick a lane. Like, I don't mind his MMA content, but then he tries to do like regular news and shit. Like, I don't know. He's alright, but for some reason I have him in my notifications or whatever. So I haven't watched a Jesse on Fire video in like a long time. But for whatever reason, Guru actually like agreed to collab with him and then didn't collab with him, went back on his live chat and then shit all over him. I don't know. Guru just seems like a douchebag. Like, he doesn't. AJ seems like the kind of guy I would hang out with in real life, and Guru seems like the kind of guy that I would not hang out with in real life. KB said, I will do better. The Guru is hideous, so true. And he's so full of himself. He is so awkward, and he looks like King Henry VIII. Like, the dude, he's the fucking man in a YouTube live chat, but if he was in a room with actual girls in it, I think he would get like that big. Like, he's the kind of guy who, he seems like if a girl looks at him, he gets awkward as fuck. The kind of guy, like, if you guys are at the bar together, you're like, bro, like, be cool, man. You're freaking like weirding these chicks out. Like, just they're talking to us. Just chill. And he's all like, oh, trying to talk to him about Arman Saryukian's grappling techniques. Do you? I'm not even gonna do an impression because I can't do impressions, but I wish I could because I would do an impression of Guru talking to a chick at a bar about Arman Saryukian. Just imagine in your head right now me doing that and then laugh. Pick'em said, "Nah, I had the money line on Lewis. I was confident in Rodriguez. Bondar is a fraud. He is a fraud, and I'm pretty. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I had money on Bondar. I don't know that he's a fraud, but if Pick'em says he's a fraud, then he's a fucking fraud. You know, like if Paku said you should bet on that guy, you should bet on that guy, whether he wins or loses. I've never had Paku tell me to bet something and it not be a good bet. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to win to be a good bet. I learned that. I'm sure Spartacus Sr. would wholeheartedly disagree. Because according to Pops, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Yeah, that's how it goes. But there are good bets to make that don't hit. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys do because you're all smart MMA fans. But anytime Paco has ever told me to bet on somebody, it's been a good bet. I don't know how guys do live feeds without drinking. Like, my throat gets so dry. Just yammering on. I don't know. I just think it's so cool that there are 6 people in the world right now who are like, you know what? Time is limited. We're only going to be here for so long. And right now, I'm going to spend this time listening to this dude with his backwards hat talk about whatever random shit he's talking about. Like, I appreciate the 6 of you guys so much. One day, when this chat is filled to the brim and all I'm doing is reading the super chats because those are the ones that are lit up, I'm going to remember Pick'em and Hap and KB and Paku. You guys, you're my boys. You're my friends. I got friends. All right. I would never tell anyone to bet Bondar after that Malcolm fight. Yeah, well. I wouldn't tell anyone to bet Bondar after last Saturday either. Pick'em said, Guru has been in AJ's stream. It was a couple months back at 100 episodes of Moneyline Monday. Oh, did he come in and like show support and like be cool to him? So if that's the case, then all right, good on him. Because AJ, like, you could tell AJ really respects him. Like, he always says good shit about him. John Dong, what is up, bro? Last, when did I go live? Whenever it was, 2 days ago. The first thing I said when I got out of my live chat, I went up to my wife and I was like, there was a guy in my chat named John Dong. And that made her excited because she has a sense of humor of a 5th grader. So she wanted me to, I was telling her I was going to change the name of my channel, and she wanted me to name it Long Duck Dong MMA. And the only time she's ever sat down and watched a full MMA fight is when Song Yadong was fighting. Song Yadong is my wife's favorite fighter. King Henry VIII. That was funny. I didn't give that comment the respect it needs. Who said that? Oh, Hap. He said Guru looks like fucking King Henry VIII. That's good. Paku said, we have faith in AJ. He can throw the flying knee to a few science students. Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. AJ would beat the fuck out of them dorks. There's no doubt about it. I'm just saying, to be that upset, like, your girl calls you and she's like, I got in an argument with some guys at school. And you could tell that shit was, like, really bothering him. Like, you know, like, you could tell they're in that infatuation stage. Like, They love each other. They probably do butt stuff. Ha- Imagine how nice it would be if Jones subbed Aspinall in 1 minute. Aspinall is on the ground and Jones offers a helping hand and then fakes him out and rubs Aspinall's head and says, "Better luck next time, bud." Imagine how awesome it would be if that didn't happen. Imagine how awesome it would be if Jones actually fights Aspinall, which isn't going to happen because Jones is scared. You don't want that smoke. You don't. Like, I don't know. He wants to fight Stipe Miocic because Stipe is 67 years old and sounds like Boomhauer, and he knows he can beat him, and Ngannou's gone. He don't want that Aspinall smoke. Nobody wants that Aspinall smoke right now. Aspinall's my boy. He's not my boy. I think he's a good MMA fighter. Haps a dog. Don't discredit yourself, man. You're a chill dude. That's why we watch you, brother. Was I just talking shit about myself again? Trying not to do that. Eric said be confident. I'm going to be confident, damn it. Watching Makhachev tape is awesome. I have no idea how he survived that knee bar. Oh my god. How, dude, his knee was literally bent backwards. It was literally bent back. See, that's why you strangle people. Because if he was caught in a choke that tight, he'd have went to sleep. But there are just some sick people out there who are like, you know what? I have two knees. I'm just going to let this one break so I don't have to lose this fight. You know? Like, Tim Sylvia's exist. There are people out there who are like, you know what? I'm just going to let my tibia, or whatever that is. I was trying to sound smart. I'm just going to let my arm break in half so I don't have to tap and be a loser. Like, those people exist. That's why strangle them out. No matter how tough they are, your brain can only go without blood for a few seconds. Who wins, Prime Darren Till or Ian Gary? Ian Gary. Dude, Darren Till was such a disappointment. I don't know, he just got like thrown to the wolves, but him and his goofy fake smile went from this dude's going to be the champ to this dude's fighting in bare knuckle in like a week. What the fuck? Darren Till was, and his stupid Scouser accent, and he was so good at like talking with that fucking however they talk, and it was like, I loved it. Like, I was so ready for that dude to be champ, and I don't know what happened. He just too much too soon. Said your wife is awesome. She's all right. I think she's watching. So I mean, yeah, she's the best. Paku said, Song Yadong is one of my mate's favorite fighters. He's a casual. I swear he just likes the name. Yeah, that's my wife. She loves her some Dong. That was too easy. Yeah, Jones is scared. That's so annoying. I would pick Jones to win too. How can you not pick Jones? It would be so hard for me to pick against Jones because other than that one time he lost to Dominic Reyes, he's never lost. You know what I mean? And honestly, he wasn't even trying. Like, you know, we all know he was not even trying in that Dominic Reyes fight, and he still stole a victory. You know what I mean? Like he said to DC, yo, I beat you on coke, dude. Like, you're over here giving it your all, and I'm going to practice like once a day and going to the bar and getting fucked up. Like, imagine if John Jones was a mature athlete when he won the title and wasn't a bit of a psychopath and cared about his career. He would be the Michael Jordan of MMA. Like, we'd we'd be telling our kids, it's just so frustrating. Like, so much wasted talent. Imagine being DC. You're an Olympic level athlete. You put every ounce blood, sweat, and tears, and you can't beat this fucking guy who doesn't even try. Oh, it's got to be so frustrating. Nate Brown said, I hate when Song fights at the Apex. Martinez doesn't announce his name like Buffer does. I hate when anyone fights at the Apex because there's not a freaking crowd and it sucks. Remember when Jamal Hill's arm flopping around facing the wrong way? Yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was so nasty. You remember when Jacare Souza got his arm broken? Jacare Souza got his arm broken in an MMA fight. Like, as a jiu-jitsu guy, Jacare is a legend. Like, that dude has, like, if you think watching MMA grappling is boring, go watch gi jiu-jitsu. I participate in it, and it's like watching paint dry. But Jacare Souza is, dude, he was an animal. And back in the day, is the early 2000s, guys didn't pull guard like they do now. Like, they fought for the takedown even in the gi, especially in the gi, because no gi wasn't that big of a thing. So Jacare had this crazy, like Buchecha did too, his crazy, like, double lapel snap down. He would snap your head to the mat so hard. Sometimes guys' heads would literally bounce off the mat, and you just gave it everything you had to pick yourself back up. Then he would fly in with the double leg, and oh, he was an absolute beast. Hap wants to know, would you rather have infinite cardio with a glass chin or no cardio but an iron chin and durable body? I mean, oh, that sucks. Man, that's a good one. Hap has such good would you rathers, and wouldn't it be great if, and could you imagine? I guess I would rather have a glass chin because you're just going to get knocked out and not know what happened. Whereas if you don't have cardio, the beating is going to be prolonged, and you're like, you're durable. So you're just going to be like Benoit Saint Denis event against what was that guy's name? Dos Santos, the guy that just beat the bricks off him while that Russian referee watched. You're just going to be like Calvin Kattar fighting Max Holloway. Yeah, glass jaw. Darren Till was underappreciated. Well, he underperformed, you know? He was fucking up DDP in their fight, and now DDP is champ. Till with good knees would still be in the top 5. I mean, he was winning until he wasn't, but how good is that? I mean, do you think that's the problem? You think he's just injury prone and then now has a glass jaw? Maybe he was that, like, thrown. I'd have to go back and, like, do a deep dive on him to know, like, was he thrown to the wolves or was he just hype? That's one right now I really can't answer. Other than, I mean, I'm taking your word for it because you're a well-educated MMA fan. So that's something, I mean, if we were in like a slow period, I would make a note to go back and watch Darren Till's fights and make an opinion on them. There's so much to do between now and 300. I'm probably not going to go back watching Darren Till fights just because I have so much other shit I need to do. Jones is definitely a psychopath, though. Nothing behind the eyes when there isn't a camera on him. That DC interaction when no one was filming says it all, bro. Yeah, when he thought the cameras were turned off and he started talking shit to DC, exactly. I guess I'm not I don't know NFL players like I know MMA fighters, but my partner at work was telling me that his brother was like also a psychopath. I don't know which one. I think he might have been talking about both, but I guess they're both like pretty crazy, you know? Can you imagine being his mom? You gave birth to all those crazy athletes. Eric said, speaking of watching paint dry, how do you really feel about watching a full card of women's MMA? I know the answer, but your rants crack me up. Like, dude, okay, Paku, I know how you feel about women's MMA. You feel the opposite of me. Would you? Well, I can't say that because I would probably watch it, but I would be so pissed. But, dude, I would literally write an angry letter to the UFC if they ever decided to do an all women's card. I would tell them they're being a bunch of simp losers, and I guarantee when Dana White's gone, there will be an all women's MMA card. It's going to be like during some month of remembrance for. Oh. I'm trying not to go off. I love the fact. Okay. Love is a bit strong. I'm totally fine with there being women's MMA and having girls fight on the cards that I watch every week. I'm not okay with pretending that it's exciting. You know, that's like the nicest way I can say it. I'm not going to pretend like I give a shit. Yeah, I'm never going to break down a woman's fight. I'm never going to give my opinion on this upcoming match that, you know, it's just, I don't know. People who pretend like it's exciting annoy me. Bro, if the UFC actually ever did an all women's card, I'm completely skipping that whole weekend. F that. I am going to, if that happened, I would literally tune in to watch, like, I don't know, anything else. Anything else. There's actually a YouTube channel. The guy's name is Showbiz the Adult. And he's like the AJ and guru of boxing. He does fight companions for boxing, and his channel's huge because he's like one of the only guys to, well, I shouldn't say that, but his channel is huge. He's an extremely knowledgeable boxing fan, and if there's ever a weekend where there's no UFC on and you want to watch some combat sports, check out Showbiz the Adult's YouTube channel and have that on while the box, like, you know, as a fight companion. It's literally like rekindled my appetite to watch boxing between fighters I don't know. Like, Mayweather ruined it for me with like everybody having to be undefeated, and not so much Mayweather ruined it, but I just I went, you know, I just got like super into MMA, but boxing is where it all started for me. I wrestled in high school and I didn't consider wrestling a martial art, but I loved to watch boxing. I had an uncle, he was a great uncle actually. Like, he was a great guy, but he was my mother's uncle. And when I was in high school, I would call him on Saturdays because they had Friday night fights on ESPN. and we would be like, "Oh, did you see that fight?" Like this is like 2005, you know, like we're talking Forrest Griffin versus Stephen Bonner days when, you know, the UFC had a card every couple months, but boxing was on every week. So, Western Mass, I forgot you were in here, bro. You're awful quiet tonight. Hap said, Eric said, Hap, I think that's how we all feel. Not all of us. My boy Paku is a fan of women's MMA, but he has a good reason. He has family members that are women and fight in martial arts, so I support them. My favorite women's MMA fighter is Paku's relative. If they did a couple all women's MMA cards a year, there would be zero women's MMA on the men's card. No, nope. I'm not making that deal. That's fine. You can throw, because I need a break. You know, I got to go use the bathroom. I got to get something to drink. You know, if I'm doing research, like, you know, studying for YouTube, I know, like, when I'm taking notes, I don't need to take any notes on that card. I'm totally fine with it. I am totally cool with women's, you know, there being a couple women's MMA fights on my regular UFC channel because I get to take a little break, you know, or it's actually a decent fight, you know. But, you know, that only happens once a year, so. I need a better microphone. Obviously, I can't tell how it sounds right now, but every time I watch one of these videos, I'm like, man, I gotta fucking, that mic sounds like, it just sounds weak. It doesn't sound legit. I want to get, with a Blue Yeti or something like that, I think it's called. The average women's fights are usually boring, I agree, but there are potential for the fights to be great. There are high-level women out there that come to scrap, and I like watching. And hey, I'm being sincere. I totally support that. Like that's and I agree. There are high-level women, and there's a lot of like a lot of times there's a big gap. You know, like we'll get a chick who's like just, you know, head and shoulders above everyone else. And then every once in a while you can line up like a big fight. Like they really need to do Kayla versus Cyborg. That's the fight to make, you know? But they're like huge. Like the reason that Kayla versus Cyborg is interesting is because they're the least womany women I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Western Mass said Paku can watch special women's MMA cards. Give the rest of us a week off. Yeah, everyone be nice to Paku. All right. I think that you should just eliminate bantamweight women's MMA. I genuinely actually like watching Rose, Valentina, Grasso, Farrat, and those chicks fight. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's. I'm not saying that some people don't like it. I'm just not pretending that I do. You know what I mean? Andrew, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? Good to see you in here. You always show up. You always show up so late. I've been on for 89 minutes. It's all right. We're gonna make this one a little longer tonight. We'll go for 2 hours. We'll go for 2 hours. AJ's not on tonight. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's 9:43. All right, yeah, we'll go for 2 hours. Eric said, Paku, don't get mad at the video on women's MMA that's coming up on the channel. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, I warned him about it. I warned him about it. Western Mass, that's a good point. Women's MMA is great for a smoke break. Yeah, it's what I'm saying, dude. You know, we need to take a little breather. Also, on this topic, I don't know if it's out yet. Um, Eric could, he would probably know better because I think he can look at my channel. I don't know. It was set up to premiere at a certain time. So it's tonight, though. Tonight, I'm dropping a, a standalone video just on women's MMA. But it's pretty fucking awesome. You guys should definitely check it out. There are some women's MMA fights that end up fight of the night. I love you, Paku. I do, bro. I do, bro. I understand why people shit on it because most of the time it's shit. But it can be great. I agree. It can be great. Like, maybe I need to be more like Hap and you know, give it more of a chance than it needs to be, you know? But it's good for me to shit on it. It's like a topic that I feel strongly about and people don't agree. Like, one guy I train with is like, he like really likes women's MMA. Like, he wants to talk to me about it. And I'm like, dude, let's talk about any other fight. Like, I don't even know. I couldn't list you like the champs and the weight. Like, I am so divorced from the topic that I like, you know, if the champ isn't like a long standing like Shevchenko or something, I don't even know who the champ, like literally right now I can't tell you who the female bantamweight champion is. If you say her name, I'll know it. I watched her fight, I guarantee it. I tune out from it. As a very low level grappler, I enjoy watching anyone I can learn from, man or woman. Eric said, as a very low level, you may be a low level grappler. However, you are you're a black belt shanker. Eric Swanson is a black belt in getting down with the shiv, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to hold that against you. And I'm being totally sincere. Of everyone in this chat, Eric Swanson is the baddest motherfucker in here. Like, for real. Go watch From Prison to the Streets YouTube channel and you'll know what I'm talking about. Hap said, TJ, are you telling me you're not going to be excited for Farrow versus Blanchfield? I mean, I know Blanchfield's good at grappling and shit. No, like, I'm dead serious. I will not be excited. I'll watch it and maybe it'll be good. But excited is something I will not be. Andrew said your shorts are good. My shorts are good because my boy Eric is a fucking wizard and he's showing me the way. He has literally held my hand through these past 2 weeks and he's like showing me how to do it. Eric said, I held off on scheduling so it wouldn't interfere with your live. That's because you're a fucking hero. You are a mensch, is what I think it's Jewish people say it. You are a mensch. Hap likes John Jones. Hap is a big fan of John Jones. And how can you not be? He's arguably the greatest practitioner of the sport we all love. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, as far as being a mixed martial arts fighter, he's probably the best there's ever been. That, you know? Not to change the subject, but to change the subject, how about fucking Boss Rutan? I love that guy. He was just on the Jackson podcast today, and I'm like 3/4 of the halfway, or like halfway through it, and almost every story he tells I've heard like 4 times, and they're still awesome. Like, dude has the best stories. He was just saying, like, last week he had some like problem with his HOA, and some dude like drove past him super fast in a car, and he told him to slow down, and the guy was all like roided out and got out of the car and was like, "You wanna fucking go?" Could you imagine being such an idiot? You pick a fight with Boss Rutan. Like, he grew his beard out and he looks really old now, but I'm sure he's still Boss fucking Rutan and would destroy 99.9% of the human population in hand-to-hand combat. Like, what a guy to pick a fight with. And someone who is not, like, he enjoys beating up regular people, you know? I love that guy. Such a pioneer of the sport. It bothers me so much that when I talk, you can see my bottom teeth. I shouldn't have mentioned it because now that's all you guys are going to fucking notice. But as I'm watching myself in my front-facing camera, and even when I watch my other videos, like, it fucking bugs the shit out of me. Looks like I don't have top teeth. I have top teeth. Eric said, "Don't paint a target on me." Everyone's coming after Eric now because he's the baddest dude in the chat. Well, when you're the big dog in the when you're the big dog on the yard, dude, you just stand out. Hap said, "I'll watch a Jones interview and I'll be like, wow, the dude's so smart and cool. Then I'll remember if there's no one watching, he would break my arm for fun." There's no one I disrespect more than people who pretend to be like religious or have faith and like, oh, I like say their sayings like, I can achieve all things through God, and then are just a piece of shit. There's a difference between like making a mistake and just living your life as a not a good person. And John Jones lives his life as not a good person. So, like, Gilbert Burns, I love Gilbert Burns, and he has very strong faith and always attributes his wins to his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I support that 100%. Good for you, man. Hell yeah. But someone who fakes it like John, like, bugs me so much every time he says it, like when he wins, like, dude, get the fuck out of here. You don't go to church. Like, shut up. Oh, it's so fake. Western Mass says, "That's why I like Poirier, kinda. Love his style." Poirier is like a dude I would hang out with. He just seems like a chill dude, Like if you were at a bar and someone was giving you shit, Poirier would knock that fool out for you, Like, he'd be a good time hanging out watching the fights with. Western Mass. It's an older video from when my channel first started, but it's a good one. Oh, you guys are talking about Eric's video. Dude, like I said, go check him out. Eric Swanson's a legit motherfucker. Way more legit than me just because I put on pajamas and, try to choke my friends. This dude's been through it. Look, everyone in here just being polite to each other. Every comment's like, "Oh, thanks, I love you, bro. You guys are so damn friendly." Western Mass says, "Bottom teeth. Oh no. I guess it's better than not having bottom teeth. I could be pissed that every time I talk, you guys see my gums. That would really suck. But now when I watch other people's lives, I'm going to look for their bottom teeth. Like, does his bottom teeth stick out more than his top? Like, I don't know. I just see, like, my upper lip is always covering my top teeth. I have top teeth, I can do all things through juice, which strengthens me. Trembolone further. Yeah. We call that whenever a Brazilian wins a big-time jiu-jitsu match, they always thank Jesus. So there's I our code word for steroids is Jesus and acai. Like, you know when a dude is on that Jesus and acai. Like, yeah, it has nothing to do with that EPO you've been putting into your blood for the past 6 months. Yep. So I just rewatched Poirier Hooker. What a fight. One of the fights that actually became better because of the Apex. The sound was wild. I gotta rewatch that. I gotta rewatch that. Oh, I don't have a pen. Damn it. I want to write that down. There's so much MMA to watch. I love rewatching fights and doing like sustained cardio. I just recently got into the elliptical. So, dude, I'll put fights on there and just cruise. And sometimes I get like dorky and it'll be like towards the end of the round. And I'm like pretending, like I'm gassing out at the end of the round, going hard. Mod everyone here, then we'll pull up the ladder. I'm not sure what that means, but everyone in here absolutely deserves to be mod. The only reason that Eric Swanson is a mod and not like all you guys who any one of the 8 people that are in here that want to be mod, I would absolutely mod because you're cool. But I said it earlier, he's like a manager of the page, so yes, and he reminds me to not forget to smash the like button. Eric Swanson actually doesn't exist. It's my alter ego. This is really all like a what was that movie? Fight Club. This is all like a big Fight Club thing. Like there really is no Eric. It's all just me. His YouTube channel is just like fake. You guys, like I made that channel from, yeah. Paku just dropped a big women's MMA comment. Here we go. Yes, that's what I mean. I need to go back and watch that fight. I've literally only watched that fight once. Poirier versus Hooker. A masterpiece of violence. Like, dude, like, there are so many, obviously, Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. In case you guys haven't noticed, I'm a fan of that fight. But that is like, I said this to Spartacus Senior once. I'm like, it's like violent art. He was like, you're fucking weird. What did you just call it? Art? Violent art? I'm like, yeah, it's watching an elite striker beat the living bricks off of somebody is like watching poetry in motion. There's like something that's almost beautiful about it. Grasso is my second favorite fighter on the UFC roster, male or female. Wow. Her Mexican boxing style is very high level. I'm just a big fan of that Francisco Grasso / Diego Lopez team. Straight killers. Like Mackenzie Dern's jiu-jitsu may be some of the best jiu-jitsu in all of MMA. It really is. She's also not hard to look at, but being serious, her jiu-jitsu is absolutely elite, world class. But the lack of any wrestling or striking makes her unwatchable. Like she pulls guard, she hopes to get taken down. She's tough and good at jiu-jitsu and gross to watch. Like not gross because she's super hot, but gross because like how can it be 2024? You've been fighting this long and you have no wrestling. I think she made a mistake and tried to improve her striking, which was so far behind that she probably would have been better off just wrestling. Like her training camps need to be just wrestling. You know, she needs to go hang out with Penn State D1 wrestling team and just takedown after takedown after takedown, or go hang out with some judo club and just work that, because striking is not your bag. And it's like she has a 50 cal machine gun but doesn't know how to load it. You know what I mean? Like, let's not worry about, you know, getting a pistol and a small, like, you got a 50 cal machine gun. Like, you're all set. You just need to learn how to load that thing. You know, focus on that. Don't focus on other pieces of your kit. Use what you got. Eric, bro, good reminder. Yeah, hit the like, subscribe, all that good shit. I'm fucking slowing down here, boys. Oh, it's been a long day. This has been one of my favorite live chats ever, though. I don't know why, but it feels like it's been a good one. I've been getting good comments. There's so much to talk about. I wonder if it's going to be different after UFC 300. No, probably not. I'm still going to love MMA just as much and still have so much to talk about. Andrew, you're going to have to clarify this. You actually made Rush Hour, Fight Club, Jay is a beast, so as you. I don't know what the fuck that means. Hap says, I have separate lists for women's and male fighters. Even though I like female MMA, the top 10 of my men's list is all above my favorite women's fighters. Yeah, I don't have a list. I don't even go that far. Y'all can call me WMC. All right, WMC. I call you Western Mass. I call you all sorts of shit. Unbelievable, Andrew said. How old is she? I agree. Andrew, what the fuck you talking about, brother? Sadly, Dern is old. I don't think she will improve at all. No, she's getting up there. Of course she's not going to improve. She's like, it's becoming a good wrestler is the hardest thing to become in all of MMA. You know, we see so many good wrestlers because these kids have been doing it since they were little kids. I wrestled in high school and I started in 10th grade, and it was like I wasn't even doing the same sport as some of these, as the kids that were doing it since they were in 3rd grade, you know? So now starting at 30 or some shit, you know what I mean? Like your body, it's the movements, like taking a shot is really unnatural. When you see somebody shoot a double leg, you know, and they do what's called the duck walk and like step forward, they've done it so much it looks like smooth and natural. It is the most unnatural movement you could do. To every time you try to teach somebody to shoot, they go down on their back knee, because that's just like what we do as human beings. If you're going to drop to a knee, you drop to your back knee. But taking a shot to lean forward, you're actually dropping forward on your front knee. Like, if you have a padded area in your house, go try and do that. Like, watch an instructional video on how to duck walk, how to take a shot in wrestling. And it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time and then switching and chewing bubble gum. It's just unnatural. It doesn't feel right. So to teach an adult how to wrestle, especially at the level you're going to have to wrestle in the UFC, is damn near impossible. It'd be way easier to teach someone how to sprawl than it would be to take somebody down. But she doesn't even know how to sprawl. She's, you know, that's not going to help her. Hap said, this live chat has been fire. Oh, I think I missed a few. Because of me came in late. Oh, yeah, that's why it's been fire. I was like, dude, where is Andrew? this shit needs to turn up. And then you turned up, and here we are. Good group of guys, 100%. These are some solid mofos up in here right now. I'm actually going to be ending it soon here. I got to hit the hay. It's 10 o'clock. I got a fun day ahead of me tomorrow morning. But it's Friday. Top 5 favorite fighters: Jones, Poirier, JDM, Neal, Peter Yan. That's all time or right now? I don't have favorite fighters. I would have to. Max is like, I always say, he's my last favorite. Like, Max is the last guy I'm going to like be a fanboy of. Before that was George St. Pierre, BJ Penn. I used to really like Keith Jardine. Sakuraba. Only if there's like old dudes in here will you guys like remember, like, dude, Sakuraba was such a motherfucker. He let Renzo Gracie take his back standing on purpose. Let Renzo Gracie go behind him, get a body lock, just so he could Kimura his arm, and then use that Kimura to break his arm. Sakuraba would come out. His knees were so bad, they would literally tape his knees from like mid-thigh all the way to like mid-calf. They would just be like, like, he looked like a mummy. He could barely like bend his legs. And he would go out there and out-grapple Renzo Gracie. Like, everybody. Sakuraba was and he had like a great personality. He always did like funny stuff. And yeah, BJ Penn. Modern day fighters would be Max, Justin Poirier. There's so many. I want to say Khabib, but then everyone's just going to think I'm like a front runner. But I loved Khabib like from day one just because I'm a grappling fan. I'm going to go with that. For modern day fighters, and just for Hap, I'm going to throw in Tom Aspinall. Hey, Paku in Western Mass. Fire list. Oh. The hot chick I'm talking about. Are you talking about Mackenzie Dern? I got one. Who do you guys think is the hottest chick in MMA? It very well may be Mackenzie Dern. The coolest chick in MMA, I think, is I can't think of her name now. Who's the Brazilian girl that is like super bubbly and nice? And like, you could tell she's just like a really nice, bubbly person. You guys know who I'm talking about. Oh, I can't think of her name right now. Viana. I don't know. I have to. Tied between Veronica Hardy. Who? Veronica Hardy and Mackenzie Dern? I mean, Mackenzie Dern has that one particular asset that really puts her over the top. Oh, Cowboy? Dude, man, it's so hard. I can't pick a favorite. Right now, Max. I'm just going with Max. Max is my favorite. But yeah, Cowboy. I'm just going to start listing all these MMA guys. Like, it's, you know? But yeah, how can you not be a fan of Cowboy? You know? They're such legends. I agree. Some of the most fun guys ever of all time. Like, Cowboy was just he was just down for whatever. You know, I feel so bad. He got so many chances at the title. You know, like him and Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber was a champ in the WEC, but like, I wish he could have just, you know, got the strap once. But yeah, such a cool dude. Now that's a guy I would hang out with. Go shoot some guns and hang out on his ranch. Paco, I didn't even see you list KKF before me. Unbelievable. Andrew said, he can't kick at all. Who are you talking about? Hap thought my Aspinall comment was pretty funny. It seems like a lot of us have been following MMA for a while. Yeah, I'm like, sometimes in chats I feel like an old dude, you know, because everyone's like 23 and I'm 36, you know. But I love like that old school, dude. Um, I specifically bought, like, subscribed to Fight Pass just because they had the Pride library in there. Western Mass. He always thought Claudia was a cutie. Yeah, she is. She's like right on the border of being too muscular. Also, I don't think you have the right anatomy for her. But do you guys, who is that bubbly Brazilian girl I'm trying to think of? Oh, I can't think of her name right now. Andrew, you're 37. Oh, so you were like, were you watching MMA back in the good old days, like when we were in high school? You know, like when all that good shit was going down in like 2005. I could rewrite my top five so many times, but Poirier and Cowboy are always one and two. Yeah, you gotta have your favorites. Max will always be my guy. You know, I literally Amanda Hebos, Western Mass with the win. Amanda Hebos. She's not necessarily the hottest chick in MMA, but if you were gonna marry one, I think Amanda Hebos would be the girl to marry. Both Silva and Hebos are so hot, dude. Yeah, for sure. I I think Hebos's personality like enhances her hotness. We're stuck in the matrix of discussing hot chicks and favorite fighters. Every other comment's like a favorite fighter slash hot chick comment. All right, boys. I appreciate the support so much. I really do. This has probably been my favorite live chat ever, actually. I'm glad I did it. But thanks again. Forget to like, subscribe, all that good shit. Watch some videos. I'll be posting some more. I dropped another fresh one today on our favorite topic, women's mixed martial arts. And check it out. It's only like 4 minutes or something like that. But because of Eric, I think I don't think it is the best video that I have on my page. But yeah, it's been real, boys. I will. I don't know what day I'm gonna go live again, but I will. I'll post a video either Saturday night or Sunday morning, and yeah, stick around and check out the channel, all that good stuff. All right, thanks. Have a good night, guys, and go Bills. Damn it, I try to have a smooth exit. Let's do that again. All right, boys. Good night. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and